My name is Rachel Hedman, and I am the founding executive director of Story Crossroads. And we have been on quite the journey, and I want to be frank with you. I want to be honest. We have been fundraising like crazy. Why? Because we take that money and we put it right back out to our story artists, to our videographers, to our American Sign Language interpreters, and so much more. And we have a big project that we figured would be about $6,000 to do. And it's probably going to be more, but we're very excited about it. It's called Story Crossroads Academy. These are self-led online storytelling courses. And that way people can choose to do this on their own time. It could be 2 a.m., it could be 2 p.m., and it doesn't matter the time zone. The other thing that's different about it is that it will be free. All the other courses that we put through Story Crossroads Academy will have a tuition cost to it, but the first course that we put out will actually be free and open to anybody. And when we say that, we know that there's many languages in the world. We know that technically we won't have it available to everybody because not every language would be represented. But we are doing open captioning so that people can still read along of the different skills that are being taught. We also want to do American Sign Language. And you might wonder, well, why is it you'd like to do that? It's because it does cost money to do so. That's where our $6,000 plan should probably be closer to about $8,000. And you're probably also thinking, well, what do you mean? Why is it costing this much? Let me break it down to you. Like I said, I was going to be honest. This is how it is. So we needed to get an online software, and that online software costs a monthly cost. It's about $50 a month. You times that out for a year, and you're looking at $600 a year, whether or not we have a course that's free or if there's a tuition cost connected to it. So that's one thing that's really important. You have to have that. You have to have your story artists. Now, most of the time for a course, you'd have one instructor. And in this case, most of the voice will be me, partly because it does save us money. I don't accept money for being the voice and explaining things, but I knew I needed to have some help. There are plenty of talented people out there. So we, with the Story Training and Telling Committee, decided and selected 10 story artists that have specialties with different genres of storytelling. If we're going to teach storytelling, people need to know the possibilities. And so we had $1,000 that we spent to help pay for those story artists. So you add that. So 600, right? You're adding that up, and then you have the $1,000 there. Obviously, there's filming. Sterling Elliott with Etched in Stone Productions has been with us since 2015. Isn't that just amazing? And because of that, he sometimes can think of things before we think of them. He knows how important storytelling is. He is a storyteller in of itself, being a filmmaker. So we need to pay him. We need to value his work. We've seen through the years how much it costs. It's a variable cost. It's not something I can just say, this is how much it will be. It's more of an educated guess of this is how much it's probably going to be. Considering that we're doing an 8-hour course, but about 4 hours of it would be video because there's different activities that people need to do on their own. You can already think in your heads, oh, it's going to be at least that much time, plus the post-production. So we are guessing that that will be at least $2,000 there. But in order to do something big, we also needed marketing. It'd be a terrible thing to create something like this and then not even actually have people know about it. And so we're getting advice and help from Heartcast Media. And that way we can understand better about YouTube videos, these short little things, and connect to the people who we want to connect with. Mainly, we're thinking about teachers, homeschool groups, and seniors as our main ones of the reason why we even developed Story Crossroads Academy, in particular with this one free course. But we also just need general marketing help. I do have a background in that, but that also means I know when to turn it to other people who specialize in things. And so I'm really excited about Heartcast Media, led by Molly Ruland in that. And I'm so grateful for the help from Mary Sue DeHill. Remember the very first, that first pricing, we had to get the software to make this work. She's very hands-on and wonderful. And rather than doing it in some other software way, we chose to work with Mary Sue DeHill. And we are excited to do that. So that all being said, that we need $2,000 more to make it work. You're thinking, oh wait, you haven't explained all those costs. Well, I just mentioned a few things. Marketing of itself and post-production and the open captioning, all that will probably add another 2,000. So you have 2,000 plus the other 2,000 plus the 1,000 plus the 600. Do you see how it's really close to 6,000? Yes. So now we are looking at American Sign Language. That means more filming, paying for the interpreters, very important, qualified interpreters. And Dale Boehm is on our board. He knows his stuff. He has also said it's a wonderful thing to have open captioning and American Sign Language. It's not where you can do either or, and we want to do this the right way. Even from our very first festival, we've had American Sign Language, and we want this project to also be that way. We're very much about that. So that costs money, at least $1,000, plus you have to think about the editing. So a $6,000 project that is now pushing it towards $8,000 only because there's always the last minute edits or things you didn't think of. That's why we're doing this fundraiser. We're doing this fundraiser not because we don't have some money set aside for this project, but because we want it to be even better. We want it to be more accessible. We believe that American Sign Language needs to be out there more. More and more virtual events are at least including closed captioning, open captioning, or live captioning, but we don't see a combination when that's really the preferred way when working with these different communities. So help us make this dream possible. Put in the love that we've already been putting into this particular project. Many people to thank for it to happen. If you're curious about some of the grants that made it possible, big shout out to the Western States Arts Federation, where $2,200 comes from them to help with this specific project. We also want to do a shout out to the Utah Division of Arts and Museums, which also links to Utah legislature. They keep increasing money for the arts, so we thank them. And because of that, we have most of that money that we need, but in order to have the full dream, to have the American Sign Language, we need the $2,000. So whether you can donate $5, whether you can donate $50 or $100, $1,000, or if you think, you know what, I can see that Story Crossroads really works hard in all that they do, you can actually support us not just in donation, you can support us in registering and attending our virtual workshop series called All Things Story. You could be attending and get your tickets for the Story Crossroads Festival that comes every May. And you can also become a Story Crossroads member, and we again put that money right back to commissioned story artists. We believe in getting that money, but putting it right back out there. You can even check our charitable solicitations permit, and over 90% of anything that we get in, all of that is going right back out again. And you might be thinking, well, what's happening with the 10%? Well, we are a nonprofit. There are certain office things that just have to happen, even when we're all run by volunteers. So make this dream possible. Share, spread the word. I think we can make it. I think we can make the goal so this Story Crossroads Academy can be more accessible, and in the years, we'll add more languages because you and the people you know were willing to help. Until we tell again, remember, I have a story, you have a story, we all have stories.